After noticing that grammar translation method did not serve the intended goals, various endeavors were put into action to come up with other approaches. The purpose was to find more natural methods that could enable learners to use the target language communicatively. These factors led to the establishment of the direct method. Apparently, it's called the direct method because it conveys the meaning directly to learners. This method can be summarized in the following points. Explanation of lessons is done through the use of the target language. The focus is on oral proficiency. Learners should speak more than teachers do. The sessions hinges on interactions between teachers and students. Teachers ask and their students answer. Only everyday sentences and vocabulary are employed. Concrete vocabulary is explained by real objects, demonstrations, pictures, gestures, and mime. Abstract vocabulary is taught by association of ideas. Both speech and listening comprehension were taught. Grammar is taught inductively. Correct pronunciation is required. To take a look at how this method is actually practiced in a class, we will take a journey with Lansern that shows us how it's used by attending a session in Italy. In brief, the session begins when the teacher tells his students to open their textbook to a certain page. After the students read the text out loud, the teacher answers the students' questions they may have to avoid confusion. He does that by either drawing on the blackboard or by giving practical examples which are easy to understand. The meaning is conveyed directly through objects and the teacher never explains, but instead he demonstrates. Also, the only language the teacher deploys is the target language. In case a student mispronounces a word, the teacher makes sure he does it right on the spot. Regarding the comprehension, there are multiple types of questions such as yes-no questions, WH questions, and fill-in-the-gap activities. Another point to mention is that the teacher makes sure the students give full answers by using complete sentences. Once a student makes a mistake, the teacher can reread the sentence partially and stops. This makes the student realize that he has made a mistake. The purpose is to let the learners self-correct themselves. In the same session, however, when the teacher introduces prepositions of place, he puts them in a context, and students have to figure the rules out. At home, they are asked to write a paragraph about a pertinent topic or discuss a proverb. Reflecting on these pieces of information, it can be said that the adopted techniques are quite different from the previous method. The teacher insists that students respond well and use correct pronunciation. Also, they are heartened to find out the rules themselves when it comes to grammar. Lansern assures that the syllabus is based on situations that are related to a group of units. For instance, one unit has to do with shopping and the other with the bank, etc. Sometimes the sessions can be about a particular topic too, such as money. This proves that a student should be able to speak and be acquainted with the vocabulary related to each situation. If a student goes to the bank, he or she should speak since he or she already studied a similar situation. This method tries to be natural as much as possible. Unlike the grammar translation method, the direct method focuses too much on the oral proficiency. To attain this objective, significant changes occurred at many levels. Students discover the rules by themselves without the teachers telling them that directly compared to the grammar translation method. Moreover, instead of explaining new words by giving their equivalents in their mother tongue language, the use of gestures, pantomime, etc. is the key to overcome this problem. Another factor lays in the fact that correct pronunciation is highly recommended since the targeted skill is oral proficiency. If grammar translation method goal is to read and understand literature, then the direct method's goal is to use the language in more practical ways. These two methods oppose themselves to some extent. The direct method was popular in private schools with paying clients who were motivated to pick a language. But in public schools, however, especially in the secondary one, it was difficult to adopt this method by virtue of the excessive use of the target language that can be solved easily if the mother tongue was used. Therefore, there was a time where a kind of combination between the grammar translation method and the direct method took place. The direct method was criticized too by a number of specialists. Although it is a bit systematic, it lacks the necessary tools to be effective. This method, like the other one, doesn't determine the role of teachers and learners in the class as well as the role of the materials. These factors make people in a kind of dilemma about what is important, reading or speaking, and about the best way to teach a specific language. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time with another method.